What can the folks out here in the audience do to make health reform happen this year?
Well, more than most people, because of what you do and why you're here. First of all, I would be remiss, since I am a paid political consultant to Democracy for America, not promoting their website called standwithdrdean.com. You ought to go on it. You ought to, there's a whole bunch of action steps that you can take. And now, well, of course, we'll take off my paid consultant hat, since I'm a free agent, can do anything I want. I would also go to Bill Press's website. They have a list of Democratic senators that don't yet support our bill, the president's bill. I would remind people that Democrats that you speak with, that we're supporting the president's plan. We're supporting the Democratic president's plan that we all hoped that we would have, right? The Democratic president's plan, that's what we support. What are you supporting? I would email everybody on Bill Press's list, or the DFA, the Stand with Dr. Dean list, multiple times. You get 170,000 of your closest friends to do the same. I would not call their offices and write them letters, because they're not going to pay attention to you if you're from out of their district, or I think emailing them is fine. I would, however, make sure that you're contacting everybody you know in their states, and the states are listed on the DFA website and the Bill Press's website. I would make sure that those folks get contacted by people from their state. And if you don't personally know anybody in those states, you'll find out that you do, in fact. I'm just going to use this as an example. Suppose you remember the Sierra Club. Well, the Sierra Club has chapters in all 50 states. You ought to call the people that are in that chapter and say, hey, you know, I'm calling you because we're both in the Sierra Club, that's how I got your name, or email them and say, but I'm really calling you about health care reform. Would you be willing to make a couple of calls as an individual, or tell some of your friends as an individual? That's how it's going to work. You know, a lot of people talk about Max Baucus. Max Baucus pays attention to what people say in Montana. He does. There have been single-payer people in Montana that have been going to his meetings. He's listening. He is. And what he does, at the end, this Republican farce is going to die, because it's just about, the Republicans have about killed it. When Grassley said what he said the other day, he pretty much admitted that this was a farce. Chairman Baucus has got to get a bill out of his committee, and he knows he has to get a bill out of his committee. And if he only has Democrats to work with, guess what? The majority of his Democrats on his committee favor a public option, which means that if he's going to get a bill out of his committee with 0 Republican votes, it's going to have a public option in the Senate Finance Committee bill. Otherwise, there isn't going to be a bill, right? And he knows there has to be a bill. So it matters what you say. It's one of the reasons I have been very careful not to criticize individual senators. I don't mind talking about their views, but I don't criticize them yet, because at the end, I think we're going to get almost every Democratic senator. Almost every one, because there's not going to be any Republicans. They're not going to be interested in forming the bill, and therefore the Democratic caucus is going to have a huge influence in this, and the majority of people in the Democratic caucus want a public option. They want real reform. So make sure that folks are going to the hearings in these states with senators who haven't decided yet, and make sure that they understand that you believe that this is a choice between the insurance companies or the people that elected them and do the work, because you're the activists, right? It's one thing for them to say, well, the activists don't matter. The activists are who knocks on the doors all the time. They matter a lot. And you can get all the television advertising you want. I think we know that Barack Obama wouldn't be in the White House unless people had gone out and knocked on doors and gotten on the internet and organized, right? So that's why this makes a big difference. So I think we can be polite, but I think we have to be firm. We have already made our compromise, and there will be no more compromises in this bill, and we expect the Democratic Party to support the Democratic president and the Democratic people that elected these people to the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives. They are there to do the people's business, and the people do not necessarily include the insurance industry. Should hang it up there while we're ahead, right?
And to follow up, though, again on...
I thought we should quit while I was ahead on that one.